are you?
Okay, who am I? I'm Camille. I just finished my second year of medical school.
How are you spending your summer?
This summer I will be studying for boards.
What was your favorite class or rotation?
My favorite class? I don't think I had one. I didn't have a favorite class. I feel like this year was completely different from last year. It was more systems based. We did basically every single system in the body, but none was my favorite.
What was your least favorite class?
My least favorite class was musculoskeletal. And I don't really know why, but I just feel like there was so much information. Yeah, I just,
What does peace look like to you?
So I think peace to me looks like just spending time with my family and actually spending time, not even just with families, but with my friends and my loved ones, and being in the moment and not having to rush. I feel like this year I'll pop back home and, fly back to New Jersey or fly here, fly there, and I don't actually get time to just relish in the moment and enjoy. So peace would be to not study for boards and literally just sit with my family, enjoy, have laughs, and just be peaceful.
Describe your year in one word.
I would say momentum. There was a lot of preparation and a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish this year to help me for next year, and it's just been moving so fast, and the amount of momentum that I've had this year is just, that's what I would call it.
What was your yearly goal?
My yearly goal was to make myself, or my future self, proud of what I've done this year. A lot of what I have done this year will influence the rest of my life, whether it's doing well in class, completing boards in one time and passing it. There's just been a lot that I would attribute to that.
What is your intention for next year?
My intention for next year is to definitely solidify what I want to do for the rest of my life. I mean, I know I could become double, triple, whatever board certified, but I would like to find the residency in which I'm going to apply and actually have a solid foundation in what is to be expected of a student who wants to go into that field, and just do some rotations. I have some elective rotations that my school allows us to do, and I just want to make sure I know what I'm getting myself into, basically.
What was a highlight of this past year?
I think a highlight of this past year was my white coat ceremony. It's something that usually happens for first year medical students. However, this year is when we had ours because we had COVID, and they wanted to make sure the ceremony would be in person and all of our family, friends, and loved ones could be there to share the moment with us. And in a way, it was like the icing on the cake of finishing second year and being able to accomplish that milestone, and it's something I'll always remember.
What was your lowest moment of this past year?
My lowest moment of this past year is when my family member died, and I couldn't be there for my family. Luckily enough, I had or have a wonderful dean that let me take some time off to go home for the funeral. I missed some labs, I had to redo an exam and things like that, but I was able to orchestrate it so much that I didn't fall behind in school, but I also was able to be there with my family. And it's really tough being in medical school when someone passes away and someone who's very close to you passes away, because you never expect it and school doesn't stop. You have to continue to be on your game, but also mourn the loss of someone's life. And it's something that was very difficult, but I got through it.
I think that was a sign of maturity on your part. If you had a genie in a bottle and you could have one wish, what would it be?
I think just echoing back on the last question, if I had one wish from a genie, it would just be to be able to grant people health, good health, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of that, because health is very important.
Yes, it is. What's your favorite pastime?
My favorite pastime is still cooking, just like I said in the last video. I really enjoy making new meals, going out to eat, but I do like the creative commitment and time it takes to cook a dish, and when it actually comes out well, that's when you know.
Did you have an imposter moment? If so, what was it like?
Actually, just recently, the most recent imposter syndrome that I can remember is just a few days ago. I got an email saying I was accepted to do an away rotation, and it's crazy because most third-year students are not allowed to do rotations that are away. It's usually a selective thing for fourth years, and I just so happened to be on like a group B message, and someone was like, oh, this is a great program, you guys should look into it. More so directing that message to fourth years, but I read it, I went on the website, and nothing said that it had to only be for fourth years. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna talk to my teacher, see if they can write me a recommendation. I wrote it, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward to a few days ago, I actually got the acceptance, and I get to do a rotation in that specific field, which is something I'm interested in. And I don't know how I got it. I still don't know how I got it. I don't know why I got it, but they liked my application, and yeah, I really couldn't believe it, because like third years just don't get away rotations.
When was the last time you cried?
I want to say the last time I cried was at my brother's graduation. My brother just recently graduated, and it was just so amazing to see him actually accomplish one of his goals. Graduating college is something huge, and to see the joy that was in his eyes, it just brought me to tears, as well as my mom, who's just happy that now both her kids are college grads, and it was just a joyous moment. It wasn't a sad cry, it was a happy cry.
Do you have any regrets?
I don't have any regrets, but I would say, and I would remind students who might be applying to medical school right now, or in between schools that might have accepted them, is to definitely take time and consider how far you're willing to be away from family, because at the end of the day, I feel like I didn't weigh that as much in my decision into going to medical school. Not that I regret coming to where I go to medical school, because I actually really enjoy it. The people are wonderful, I like the location, but I would caution students to particularly look at location when applying and matriculating into medical school.
Have you experienced any burnout this past year?
I would say I have experienced it recently. It's not something that just comes and goes. I feel like, I guess it is something that just comes and goes. Sometimes you might think, oh, I was burned out for 1 week in September, but for me, it's like every couple weeks. We're studying for boards right now. I have been studying for boards since January, and doing that for weeks on weeks on weeks, plus doing research, plus participating in school activities, plus actually getting grades to continue in school, going home for graduations, presenting at conferences, like I just had so much that I was doing, and I couldn't really pause any of them. However, I do have to say it was nice going to present at conferences, or just going to attend conferences, because it did give me like a little break, which kind of felt like a reset in terms of just trying to deal with burning out.
Yeah, I think you're good at avoiding burnout because you're always like going places and visiting your family and like going on vacations and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think you're really good at like avoiding burnout like that.
I
Like,
try and switch it up, you know?
yeah, I think you're good at that. Did you work a job this year?
I did my little side job. As I said last year, I worked as a pet sitter. I would walk dogs, sit at houses while the dog. Anyways, I would walk dogs, sit dogs, all of that. Continue to do that. I hope to continue to do that, and it's a great way to just make some income while you're in medical school.
Hang out with some cute puppies.
Mm-hmm.
This is always fun and stress relieving. It's another stress relieving thing that prevents burnout too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm having one. It all looks the same. What are your core values right now?
I think right now it would definitely be family, preparation, and honesty. Family, just because everything I've been saying in this video, it's very important. They're like my rock. Preparation, just kind of to echo the word of this year, which would be momentum. Just being prepared for what's to come is really important, at least for me, just because it helps my anxiety, honestly. It's just that simple. And then lastly, honesty, because remaining honest and truthful is very important to me.
What was your most impactful moment this year?
So I think I didn't have one particular moment that I can remember that was super duper impactful. However, I can say just talking to some underclassmen and students who might be matriculating in school. I recently did a tour at my school for a matriculating student, and just talking to them and realizing I was in their shoes like 2 years ago is insane. And being able to look back, I think, is also very impactful. I mean, as much as you can prepare for the future, like I just said before, it's also great to look back and see how far that you've come.
What are you looking forward to?
I am looking forward to rotations, like actually seeing real patients, learning, testing my memory, seeing what I can do. I'm just really excited to be in a hospital. I don't know, suturing. I'm excited for it all.
Just applying everything that you learned and getting to like use that. It's so exciting.
Like, this is the crux of why you go to medical school, to be in a hospital, to help real patients. I mean, it's great to learn on standardized patients, but to actually be there is the most impactful.
Have your values changed?
I know my values haven't changed.
Do you think medicine will change you?
For sure. Again, I'm not sure if it's for better or for worse. I'm not sure medicine will change me for better or for worse, but it will change me. It's just what it is.
In what way do you think medicine will change you?
I mean, I feel like medicine will change me in the way I view death, the way I interact with people, the way I pick up on social cues, the way I'm able to navigate in this world. There's a lot of facets of medicine that I guess most people don't realize, but socially, psychologically, mentally, spiritually, there's a lot of things that will change.
Name one thing you wouldn't want to live without.
I wouldn't want to live without my family.
Any final thoughts or comments?
I guess my final thought would be to just show up in the world as yourself. Don't put up a front, don't try and be someone you're not, just be yourself. And there's going to be instances that will turn out to be very like serendipitous, like you were supposed to be there at that point in time, and there will be many situations that will be for you, and just to show up as yourself, your best self, as much as possible, as much as you can, because that's all we really can do.